Selamat siang. Welcome back to another Bali COVID-19 update. This is April 26th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. It is a beautiful day today, again in Bali, and the wind is up though, and it was not this morning. Right now it is 12.5 kilometers per hour, 31.3 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is 63%. And I'm recovering from my trip to Sanur. I'm definitely feeling 72 years old. The rides on the motorbike, wow. They're getting a little more tiring than they used to be when I was younger, but it was good anyway. There's a lot of Bali news today. Nothing about immigration, nothing about passports and visas and quarantines and all that stuff, which is, well, to be honest about it, I'm glad not to have to talk about it for a while. But a reminder that, yes, you do have to have the PCR test 2 times 24, 48 hours before departure. Because on social media today, there's still a lot of people that don't know that they have to have this. And so you do. And with Eid holidays coming up, there are likely to be a lot of closures of government offices, including immigration. So if you need to get something done, you need to check with them and find out when they are open and when they are closed. Okay, with that said, let's get going. What about the numbers? Good news on the numbers. National new cases, 317. National recoveries, 4,664. That number is way up. National deaths, 33. Bali new cases, 13. Yeah. Bali recoveries, 27. And no deaths in Bali. So solid numbers. And Mudik has already begun, as I've said several times. People are traveling. Not as many coming here as people leaving through Gili Manuk, going back to Java to see family and friends. And so we're going to wait and see what's going to happen with the cases, right? We're going to have another 2, 3, 4 weeks looking at numbers and seeing how things pan out. And as I said yesterday, the government is confident that we are not going to see a big spike. And so I'm hoping that the government is right. Okay, let's talk about tourist arrivals first. Most tourists to Bali since flights opened from Australia. Of course, what we would expect, right? With all the flights from Australia coming and the people from Western Australia saying Bali is like my second home. And so they are. For the month of April alone, data from the airport for international arrivals, the latest number from April 22nd, 46,176 people. That is just for April. And here is something interesting in this, and I haven't seen any other reports of this, but I don't doubt that it's happening. In increasing the number of foreign tourists visiting Bali, or in order to increase the number of foreign tourists to Bali, the Bali provincial government has proposed 16 countries that can use visa on arrival. So they want to add 16 countries. According to the head of the Bali Tourism Office, proposing to the center, that's Jakarta, 16 mostly European countries. This is input from the tourism component. And Pak Bagus admitted that he could not expect tourists coming from China because of the situation that they're in right now. So Bali is targeting people from ASEAN, the ASEAN countries who can come in on the free visa, as well as all those countries that are able to come in on the VOA. And adding another 16, I think is a great idea. Hopefully this will go through soon. However, despite the fact that tourists are coming, hotel occupancy rate in Bali is still relatively low because overall it's only around 30%, according to this article. Nusa Dua is up to 60%. Favorite places visited by foreign tourists are Kuta, Ubud, Canggu, of course, and Lovina Beach is still quiet. He said there's a small part to Lovina, but hopefully it will be full of people soon. Okay, if you are in Lovina, I know Russell said he didn't see a lot of tourists there, a lot of international tourists. If you're in Lovina or if Pamutaran or any of the places up here in North Bali and Bule, what's the situation like where you are? Are you seeing an increase in the number of tourists? As I mentioned last week, we saw tourists, Zoe and I, here at the supermarket, and that was surprising because we haven't seen tourists in the supermarket in a long time. Okay, Kintamani. Everybody loves to talk about Kintamani because you got to have some place that really irritates you, right? Kintamani admission prices reduced. They're responding to some pressure. The Regency of Bali has announced that the admission fee for visitors to tourist area of Kintamani will be reduced effective May 1st. The Bali Regency administration's changing how Kintamani visitors are categorized in the amount of admission each category must pay. The new categories are foreign tourists, domestic tourists, and local Bali. The planned changes were announced after the Regency government met with the Bangli chapter of the Indonesian Hotel and Restaurants Association, PHRI Bangli, on last Wednesday, and I mentioned that they were going to have this meeting. On the following day, the head of Tourism and Culture Directorate for Bangli, Iwayan Sugiarta, said that the meeting led by the region agreed on several points, including the reduction of admission fees charged to Kintamani visitors. And what are the new fees? Foreign tourist admission fees will remain unchanged at $50,000 per person. So you got to pony up $50,000 if you want to go to a tourism spot. Now, I don't know exactly what they're considering tourist spots. So if anybody has been in Kintamani and been charged $50,000 to go to a tourist spot, which tourist spots? Domestic tourist admission fees will be reduced from $25,000 to $20,000. And local Bali visitors will only pay $10,000. So I guess if you've got a KTP from Bali that qualifies you as a local Bali visitor, then you would pay only $10,000. Pak Sugiarta said, in the future, the classification for children and adults will no longer apply. The only categories will be foreign tourists, domestic tourists, and local Bali tourists. So if you're bringing some kids with you, they're going to have to pay full fee. I'm sure that is going to help the tourism business in Bangli. However, it remains unclear if Regency officials will charge vehicles with occupants merely passing through Kintamani on southern-bound or northern-bound journeys. Also unclarified is the rate to be charged to foreign residents in Bali using a temporary or permanent visa. That's the ETAS or the ETOP or the KITAS or the KITOP, whatever you want to call it. And so some questions remain. Is that surprising? It's never surprising. And some good news about bringing more attractions into Bali. Indonesia International Marathon in Bali, June 26th. Yes, marathoners, it's coming up June 26th right here in Bali. The announcement of the 26th June Indonesia International Marathon follows the recent announcement of the resumption of the Maybank Marathon in Bali that will be held on Sunday, 28th of August, 2022. So, 2 marathons coming up, one in June and one in August. The Indonesian International Marathon will be conducted by following standards set by the Association of International Marathon and Distance Races, AIMS, and is operated at the instigation of the Indonesian National Sports Committee, KONI, using professional race director and a race measure. Okay, so they're going to be charting out to make sure you do the actual distance for the marathon. Plans are to hold the International Marathon on a national basis, rotating annually to different locations across Indonesia in order to promote sports tourism in general and Indonesian tourism in particular. By holding the event in Bali, we hope that the event will help revive the Balinese economy, create confidence in Bali tourism, and revive the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector, MSME. And I say that often, MSME, and so this is it, micro, small, and medium enterprises. According to the wife of the Bali governor, she said, we hope that in the preparation and implementation of the event, it can absorb many local workers and display Balinese artistic culture on the sidelines while carrying out race activities. She suggested that winter trophies adopt a Balinese design using local materials. The wife of the governor also invited participants at the International Marathon to visit the Bali Arts Festival held each June in Bali. Okay, haven't done a foreigner behaving badly in a while, and here is a weird one. Viral Bule dancing naked, allegedly on Mount Batur, Bali, immigration moves. Okay, and I have some follow-ups on this too, so this is an interesting segment. By the way, I did not see the viral video here, thank goodness. A video showing foreign tourists dancing naked or allegedly naked on Mount Batur has gone viral on social media. And the Denpasar Immigration Office is hunting for the Caucasians. The tourist also shared the video on his Instagram account, Mind Body Healer. Okay, here's a guy who's not only dancing naked in Bali when he should know better, but he's stupid enough to put this on his Instagram account. In the video, he uploaded, Jeff seems to be sizing up his vital parts. Maybe I should have seen this. He wrote in the video post, when you strip naked without shame and be seen, you become fearless child of God. Oh, here is another God person. Okay, we had the crazy Moldovians, Russians breaking into villas because God gave it to them, and now we've got a guy becoming naked so that you can commune with God. In response, the immigration office immediately took action. They obviously didn't agree that God told this guy to dance naked or that he was going to get closer to God because he's dancing naked. So the action went viral. Many social media users shared screenshots of the video. He did, this article says, censor the vital parts of his body in the video reels. In the dance act, Jeff, that's his name, danced by singing a song that was allegedly part of a Maori ritual. He said, truly I tell you, until you become as innocent as a child, take off your clothes and trample on them. You will not be fearless, and you will not enter the kingdom of God. These are the words of Jesus. This journey is all about what it seems, and let the shame go to enjoy our wholeness. We do get our share of nuts. He continued, are you ready for true joy on all sides? The purpose of this video is to express sound and movement. He also explained that the dance he danced was a dance he got when he lived in New Zealand. He said, when I was living in New Zealand back then, I came across some dances and this is what I remember. Is it perfect? No. Is the sentence I said correct? Of course not. Do I know what these sentences mean? No. Is he on the same playing field as the rest of us? No. My intention is not to disrespect the culture or anything. It's simple just to express emotions, vulnerabilities, and sound and moments to enjoy. And elsewhere he mentions that several Maori people contacted him and said his dance is not perfect. He said, there have been several Maori people contacting me and telling me it's not perfect. I know. Thanks for sharing. Several Maori people offered to teach me. I'm very interested in studying it in its entirety. I love New Zealand and love the power of this expression. So thanks to those who look at this from the perspective of love and kindness and remove the need to judge right or wrong. You're violating not only the culture of Indonesia, but the laws as well. People need to learn what's acceptable here before they come here. And in the Instagram account, he calls himself a joy expert, founder of Mind Body Healer. Heal your symptoms, pain, and disease by uncovering the whole enjoyment of your unique self. Should I take my clothes off here? Will that make me feel better and get in touch with the divine? It may get me arrested. And here they follow up to the story. You know, I don't always have follow-ups on these stories. You have to wait sometimes, but the immigration really got to work on this one. Canadian Caucasians admit regretfully dancing nude on Mount Batur, Bali. And so apparently there were other people with Jeff, but they did not dance naked. So according to the head of Class 1 Immigration Office for TPI Denpasar, Teddy Riandi, he said that after examining the foreigner, they detained him in the office. Based on the results of the examination, the man who was born in Vancouver in 1988 carried out the action in April 2022, about a week ago. And according to this article, according to what immigration said, they said he did his dance naked consciously without the influence of alcohol. I guess if you were drunk and you were dancing naked, maybe that's okay. Subsequently, immigration contacted the guarantor. So he had to have a guarantor to get into the country and found that the foreigner was reapplying the onshore visit stay permit visa and passport in question was with the guarantor. and immigration snatched it right away. I wonder if the guarantor knew this guy was going to dance naked. According to Pak Jamruli, who we've talked about many times, he said that the foreigner committed a violation and admitted it, and he will be given punishment in the form of deportation, as referred to in Article 75, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 6 of 2011 concerning immigration. Pak Jamruli said, "We urge people throughout the province of Bali to be proactive in monitoring and reporting various types of violations committed by foreigners to the authorities for strict action." You gotta laugh at this stuff. What are these people thinking? And let's finish up with something about one of my favorite people in Bali, the Minister of Tourism, Pak Sandiaga Uno. Sandiaga Uno, the most popular vice presidential candidate. Survey. The former deputy governor of Jakarta, now Minister of Tourism, received 16.6% of respondents' votes in a poll. Populi Center's researcher and deputy executive director explained that he was the most popular choice for vice president. And then there were a number of other people following behind him, including Jakarta's current governor. However, the deputy director noted that Sandiaga Uno has a high potential to run as a presidential candidate in 2024. Now, this is something that I kind of expected might happen. He's been high profile for the last 2 years. Will he run for president, or will he settle for a vice presidential spot? He's popular, apparently, according to this survey. 29.1% of the respondents fell into the no answer category. These were conducted in face-to-face interviews between March 21st and March 29th. 1,200 respondents across the 34 provinces of Indonesia. Populi claimed that the survey's margin of error is approximately 2.83% and a confidence level of 95%. Populi Center also examined public voices regarding the discourse on postponing the election and extending the presidential term. Oh, this again. And as a result, the majority of people reject both issues. Okay, let's put it to bed. Nevertheless, public perception of President Jokowi's administration remains quite positive. Well, except that there's a new poll out that shows that it's dropping, and I'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. Okay, let's wrap it up. That's it. If you found this video informative, useful, helpful, inspiring, amusing, non-irritating, I appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, because videos will be done. Well, I'm still working on the schedule. I'm like the Indonesian government. I will get around to things when I get around to things. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow.